Oh, all right, guys. Thank you for joining here today. This is a big, big, big moment. We're really, really excited. We have our coaches here, and this session we're gonna just get to know everybody. Um, who is ACT? Who's a part of ACT? We have really, really qualified and dedicated coaches here, and we're going to ask a few questions. We're going to have some conversation, and just let you guys get a peek of who we are and what we do. We're really excited. Um, we're serving the Livermore area and beyond. We got Statesboro, Georgia, with Coach Terry Adams here, and exciting things coming. So, so first I'm going to jump in. Excuse me, guys. First, I'm going to just jump in and say, hey, everybody, how's everybody doing today?
Good, doing good. Thanks for putting this together and having us. Looking forward to sharing a little bit and getting to know what we can do.
Yeah, thanks, Coach Doug. Coach Tom, how you feeling today?
Doing fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, excited to do this.
Good. Coach Terry out there in Georgia, you ready to get it done?
Yeah, ready to get it done. I'm a little under the weather, so if you hear me cough once or twice, just bear with me. But I'm happy to be here.
Don't forget to mask up. You don't want to spread germs.
Hey, that's how you get stronger.
That time of year, right? Stuff going around everywhere.
Yes, sir. All right. Just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with just gonna go in order, and I'll start with Coach Doug. Coach Doug is a really experienced coach. He does volleyball and tennis. He's been coaching for, it seems, upwards of 5+ years. He's been middle school, high school coaching, which high school just started right now. He's really ingratiated with the community and has a wealth of knowledge for these sports. So, Coach Doug, tell me a little bit about yourself. Why'd you start coaching?
Yeah, thanks for the intro there. I've overall been coaching for close to 15 years, all the way from 5-year-olds up to 18-year-olds. So a whole variety of people and multiple different sports, from t-ball to soccer, flag football. But mostly my focus is on volleyball and tennis. I coach at the middle school level and the high school level consistently. And for me, coaching is something that I can bring myself back to my childhood and think about some amazing coaches that I had that taught me so much. I hear the term, and you guys have probably heard before, somebody say, coaching doesn't build character, it reveals it. But I'm one to say that while that may be true, I honestly think that coaching and playing sports actually does build character. It teaches you a lot about how to interact with other people, how to take direction, how to take a moment to step back and look at yourself and see what you are good at and see what you can bring to, whether it's a team sport or an individual sport, but then also recognize where you have opportunity to improve. And with the right coaching in place and the right information, you can identify not only those areas to improve, how to improve it, but then find the right ways to better areas. So for me, coaching is something that I want to be able to pass that on, all the learnings that I've had. And again, coaching for 15 years, there's some kids that I've coached before that are now well into their 20s that I still see, and they still say, "Hey, coach," when they see me. And that's so meaningful as far as, really just showing that what I'm doing is making an impact on people's lives. So I don't ever plan to stop coaching, and look forward to learning more from you guys about how I can improve my craft and be able to pass that on to my athletes.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think you hit on some really, really solid points and just some great fundamentals, not just for sports, but for life. I think that's one thing we all respect and value about sports, is the ability to tackle some of those tougher mental situations in a way that's less direct. And when we talk about middle school, high school kids, and even some older adults, um, tackling those problems aren't as easy. But when we can use sports and have a good coach, you become a mentor, you become a life partner, you become a life coach, sometimes a psychologist or therapist. We don't prescribe drugs, but I mean, that is something that I really value and I love about coaching as well. I mean,
100%. And Ryan, I'm not one of those people that's lucky enough to be an athlete for my career, but I
mhm,
will tell you that the things that I've learned as an athlete and as a coach, I bring to my everyday job as well. And that's really helped me relate to other people. And I've been able to use those skills and those ideals that I learned through athletics to help me in my actual career every day. So it's not just about sports, but it's really about a lifelong mentality and a way to relate to others. And there's so many benefits that come out of it.
yes, yes. So I mean, I think you've kind of touched on it already. My next question to you is like, what's most important as a mindset when we're talking about coaching?
Yeah, I think the mindset of the coach and the athlete, really what's most important is being open to understanding your strengths and your abilities, and then also again understanding the flip side and where your weaknesses and your opportunities, and not shying away from either one of those,
Yeah,
leveraging your strengths while at the same time finding ways to improve on your opportunities. I
yeah,
think that goes in all aspects of life and can be something that starts as young as you can start learning. So at very young age and then carrying through for the rest of your life, no matter how old you get, those are things that you can learn and continue to improve on. And I think a
yeah,
lot of that, at least for me, starts with the sports and the coaches that I had growing up.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, Coach Tom, Coach Terry, anything to weigh in on that? I think he just touched on a lot of great nuggets. Um, what about you guys? Have anything to add to that?
I feel like yeah, he touched on a lot of great things there. With the strengths, and finding your strengths and your weaknesses as a athlete and also as a coach, um, speaks volumes because it's always a continual process of learning on both ends. Even though if you are a coach, you actually do learn from your students too,
Yeah,
as being a coach, and but coaches bring the experience, and they're able to help guide um, the client, the athlete, student, through a lot of different situations. For me, I started coaching because it was like almost like a natural evolvement for me. Um, I started teaching actually when I was in my teens. I was like 16, 17 years old. Started teaching martial arts. I was one of the chosen elite few in the school um, to be a teacher that I was at.
Wait
And
a minute, wait a minute. You started teaching at 16, 17 years old?
yep.
Oh man, I don't know. That's really special. I mean, I don't know any 16 or 17-year-old I'm taking advice from. So it must have meant like you really had a passion and drive for this.
Yeah, it was my back then when I was learning martial arts. The school that I was learning at was very tough, um, and they built fighters.
What
So
school was this?
it was called Samurai Connections in Livermore. It was headed by Seagung James Halter and Sifu Lance Inderbitson back in the day. A lot of people around my age that actually grew up in Livermore, they know about that school. It ended up getting a bad reputation, I could say.
Why?
um,
Wait, why?
yeah, because we were, uh, I don't want to say thugs, but
Oh, okay.
Eh,
Okay.
okay, Cobra Kai, yeah, that was real life for me.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So Yeah, it was like one of those things where I was an instructor at that school, and to be an instructor, you actually had to fight people. And growing up, I was a teenager, and I was fighting grown adults. And because our whole philosophy back then was, if to be an instructor, you had to hold down the school, because back then we would get open challenges in the school. People would walk in and try to fight us.
Oh shoot! So it's like Pokemon style. You just like, I choose you, and you're
Yeah,
ready to go at it, huh? You
yeah,
got to be ready.
yeah. It was
Okay.
like that movie Last Dragon, like showing
Yeah,
up
that's
back then.
crazy. Well,
So
one of the things
uh,
I want to ask you really quick, and actually, I'll bring it to the whole group if you guys could all touch on this. Is you were saying that the coaches had to hold down the fort and they had to actually fight. I know one of the big things that I hear in basketball that is that we try to coach our kids through is toughness, physical toughness, and I really feel like that's something that is manufactured, at least, and not more innate in today's society. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it's very important, to build the athlete in lots of different directions. Like for basketball, yeah, they got to be tough. They got to be able to take the hits when they're coming in, driving with the ball. You know, if they happen to fall on the floor, to get back up, and it's all comes down to like their will too.
Yeah,
As always, the old adage is, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog.
yeah.
You know, so
Coach,
yeah.
Coach Terry, how do you approach mental toughness and physical toughness in kids? How do you get that out of them?
How do you bring mental and physical toughness out of kids?
Yeah,
So I feel like with that, that's a very you got to have a healthy balance, right? You can't. Biggest thing is you don't want to be so tough on a kid that you break their spirit, but you
mhm,
also don't want to be everybody's a winner kind of thing, participation grade kind of thing.
yeah,
If you're really trying to build that mindset of being a competitor, a real competitor, and build that mindset of I got to be the best competitor, not just a participant. Um, then you got to have a healthy balance. For us, a lot of times it's just understanding that what you think is too much, or is not as bad as you thought it was, right? So we do some physical training that where you have to push yourself, and it's all a mental thing, right? um but um but it's not something that's supposed to defeat the kid. um and I mean, like I said, I just feel that it's supposed to be a very healthy balance. You're not supposed to be super tough. Now some kids you got to be really hard on. That's the way they take direction. But it doesn't hurt to throw some of that, some of that softer touch into it. And then some kids you can't be too hard on. You gotta you gotta
mhm,
go ahead and not necessarily coddle, but you gotta give them just a little bit of extra instruction, right? It might just be, hey, look, let's do some one-on-one drills together, um, where so we can understand this a little bit better. Um, some of the things I like, for me, I like to do the training with mine. Uh because at the end of the day, I don't want you to feel like I'm gonna put you through anything that I can't do or would not do, right?
right.
And that challenge, a lot of times kids, they take that challenge on as, oh man, he old, I can't let the old man beat me,
Mhm,
but then they see I beat him, and it's like, oh, how'd he beat me? But it's a mental thing. So, you build that competition, right? Um, so, sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap that up real quick while I'm
Well, yeah, I will definitely say I
out.
feel like we both know a little bit about that because I mean we grew up playing our mentors right there on the street, and it was we didn't want to we would lose to them, and we would also that was our main goal, was to fight so we wouldn't lose and to figure out how to win. We had some epic basketball games back in the day.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Coach Doug, but I mean, how do you feel about mental toughness and physical toughness and getting the most out of the kid? What's your approach?
Yeah, I echo what you guys are saying there. I'll also say that one of the things about mental toughness that I think is important is you have athletes that have come from whatever situation they've come from where they are the best. They're better than all their peers. They're better than anybody they've played. And when they come up against somebody who's better than them, because we all know there's somebody out there that's going to beat you, there's somebody that's going to be better than you. How do you react to that? And that's a big learning experience that I think builds mental toughness is how do you take a loss and what do you do with that? So
Yeah.
when you lose, do you come back fighting harder, learning more, and dedicating yourself? Or does that kind of prevent you from wanting to compete and make you less of an athlete? And I think what you guys are touching on there is that challenge that as a coach, that you can help your athlete understand that while they may be amazing and they're going to continue to grow, they shouldn't take that as I'm already the best, I'm done. Like I don't have anything else to get at. And as a coach, when you challenge them and you spend that time with them, to what Terry was saying, to actually do the work with them and show them that there's other people out there that are going to be competitive and going to make them feel less athletic or less successful than they expected to be just because of where they came from. How do you react to that? And so coaching athletes in how to through that situation and how to challenge themselves, I think is a really big part of continual growth rather than having somebody reach a figurative plateau and kind of think that's it, I'm good enough. And that's really important for development of a future athlete.
Right. I totally agree. I'm gonna bring it back to Coach Tom because you were giving us a little bit of history and we kind of deviated. I'm sorry, the when you spoke about your leaders being the ones to have the attitude that we need to be able to arise to the situation. Basically, I thought that brought up a lot of questions, and especially with me as I go through coaching, and that's something that I look for. And even in high school now, it's like, okay, who's going to step up and set the tone? Who's going to be there when I could yell at them and try to motivate them, but it's really nice when we have a natural leader on the team that's one of their teammates, because then I feel like it reinforces the message. And so far, all the ages, it's really hard for kids to step up and be true leaders. But it made me think about, is our definition of a leader different now?
Yeah. I don't think much has changed from when we were young, like stepping up to being a leader. But yeah, definitely finding that one person like in your squad to, to kind of, step up and be that person, that voice, um, definitely helps out in the coaching aspect because then they're not just hearing it from one perspective. The rest of the team's starting to hear it from like, their peer,
Yeah.
um, and I think that's pretty important too. Like I also coach, middle school. I coach basketball,
Okay.
volleyball, flag football. I'm going to be doing soccer here coming up in the next trimester.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Hey, wait a minute. Don't glaze past that. What school are you at? Shout them
uh,
out. Let them know. Let them know.
this is Stratford Pleasanton. Yeah, it's a private school.
Yeah.
I'm the athletic director at that school at Stratford Pleasanton.
I was trying to be
And
modest. Hey,
yeah,
guys, Coach Tom, Stratford School. in Pleasanton. Go see him. This is the top tier coach that you need.
Yeah, and it's it's a lot of work and everything, but seeing all these, I have all these different squads of teams, and I'm looking for that voice too. Like when I see the kids, and then there'll always be one, they'll come up and be like, "Hey, coach, I have an idea," and I'll be like, "Yeah, let's hear it," and then I'll hear them out, and I'll understand where they're coming from. If they have like a play idea, or like a drill idea, and we'll put it in use. We'll actually do the drill, do the application of the play,
Mhm.
and then I'll expand on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely gives the kids, like, it gets them more involved, and it um and it just rises the morale of the team as well.
Yeah, they feel like they're included and they have a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So let me bring it back to Coach Doug and finish up with his couple questions. Coach Doug, who's your mentor?
Well, my mentor is going to be one of my first coaches that he's, I call him my uncle. He's actually a cousin of mine, but he was an athlete growing up, and he took time let's see, he was about 19, I guess, when he first started coaching me. And he took time out of his busy day away from his work to spend quality time with myself and my peers to teach us what he knew in both basketball and football. And it was really showed me how important it was to be present and be there for your athletes. He wasn't easy on us. He challenged us. He physically was a very gifted and strong, talented athlete himself. So he could, again, back to what Terry had said, like, show us specifically what he wanted to have us do, and really taught me the importance of, again, the presence of the coach. So to this day, he's the person that when I see, I still call him coach. And that's just something that will never go away from me. And when I have questions or challenges, whether it's in life or whether it's through athletics, he's a person that I'll reach out to and seek the guidance of. And maybe he's been in that situation. Maybe he's just familiar with something similar, but he's always there to listen and to hear me out. But then again, to challenge me to better myself, not one to just give me the answers, but really ask me to look back and look at my life experiences and try and figure out what's the right way for me to move forward. So 100% my mentor there. And, when you think about some of the greatest athletes, whether it's Michael Jordan, whether it's Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, these are people that dedicated their time. They were in the gym first, they were leaving the gym last, and they were holding each other accountable for their play and their activity. And that's the type of person that Coach Steve is for me and has always been. And I think that when you find that, as you guys were just talking about, when you find that voice, you find that one person amongst your peers that can challenge you beyond what the coach themselves challenges you, that really helps build the team and build the character. And he put that into me. And so no matter what sport I was doing growing up, and to this day as a coach, I'm the first one in and the last one out, and really trying to be the one that's working the hardest. Whether I have the most athletic ability in that particular activity, that's not what's important to me. But am I driving myself, and am I challenging myself, and at the same time holding others accountable? And I think that's to your guys' point, how you really are going to build great teamwork and great individual athletes when they get that attitude and that mindset.
Man, I really love everything that you're saying. And I mean, one of the things that I try to do, not just in sports and even at home, is just be present, whether I'm wanted or not, whether I'm, good day, bad day. If they know we're here, it just makes the difference, And I just, man, I really love that. And I can explain, even for myself, thinking how I was as a child and some of the comforts that I relied on. And yeah, it just changes everything when you have support.
That's such a great point to tie that back into just life skills as well, as that being present. something you learn in sports, something you value in sports, but you recognize the importance in every part of your life, whether it's your home life or your work life or back to some type of sport. Yeah, 100%. Great point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I'm gonna keep deviate off into the life skills, but all of us here with families and as men, that's one of the lessons that I feel like you learn, and that's not as much discussed, is that just being present and being there through the ups and downs, even when you know it's tough. I think it makes a man, and it also makes a true leader. And
100%.
I think that that's so valuable. Coach Tom, Coach Terry, anything to put in on this?
Yeah, I really like what how Doug put it. Coach Doug yeah, that's really like a really profound way of putting it. Really good.
Yeah, right. Man. Terry, anything?
Nah, I mean he hit on all. Yeah, he hit on all points. I mean, it, yeah, I mean, that's what
All right.
I'm putting it.
Yeah. All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back. Bring it back to Coach Tom. Who's your mentor?
Oh man, I got a lot of mentors.
Okay.
I think that's a good thing though. I mean, you have like different ones. But the main one, one of that stood out. There's two of them. I have two main ones. One is my Sifu right now. His name is
Mhm.
Sifu Felix Macias Jr. Um,
Wait. Say that again. Sifu
is,
who?
Felix Macias Jr.
Okay.
He's the head of the original Oakland Jeet Kune Do branch. He learned from his father, who worked out with Bruce Lee and James Lee in the '60s. Um,
Sounds like we're gonna have to get him on and interview him one day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, be ready for that one. So, but yeah, yeah, he's a great mentor throughout life. He became first he was just my instructor, and then he became a good friend, and then he became my best friend. And we still chat like almost every day, and we go hunting together, we do trips, and do this different stuff. So we just built that relationship, um, but he's been a mentor for me in a lot of different ways, not only in martial arts but throughout life as well.
Hmm.
But another one is Segun James Halter.
Hmm.
He mentored me when I was in my teens and early adulthood, up until I was like 20, 21. Um, but he taught me, you know, a lot about life and how the world can be, and yeah,
Mm,
he's just a great guy. So
okay.
uh, yeah,
You
big
got it.
up.
You got to tell us now. What's one takeaway that you feel like you put in your pocket and walk around with every day?
Um, the main thing that I take away is just have total awareness.
Hmm.
Uh, like our whole thing was always being aware of your surroundings, always being aware of who's coming in and who's going out, where the exits are in a building.
Hmm.
If you're in a restaurant or in a bar, the best seating position to sit. Um, it was very tactical, and I keep that with me to this day. I know today's world is pretty dangerous. There's a lot of things going on. You never know when something might pop up. So just always being ready. Having that mindset of being aware,
Yeah.
and that's like the main thing. Like I've gotten out of my mentors,
Yeah.
James
Yeah.
Halter. But from my main takeaway from my mentor from Sifu Macias, um, is to mainly be like how to build relationships with your students. You
Hmm.
know, building positive relationships speaks volumes. Because when you are actually a coach that cares, that translates to to the kids or adults, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
definitely key. And I think even for parents, you know, to be able to trust you with their child, they need to know that you actually care. I mean, I know sometimes as a coach, we get that automatic, like, okay, he's a coach, so you know he's going to do right for my kid. But I think there's levels to it, and I think that um, different coaches have different styles, but I do think that we all need to be open in order to do what's best for the kid. So having that relationship there is really key, so that we can know how to get the most out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach Terry, who's your mentor?
Oh man. So I mean I have quite a few mentors. You know, one of my biggest mentors would have to be oh man. would have to be man, I mean, which one would be my biggest? Honestly, I've had so many over the years. You know, just with the fact that we always moved and things of that nature.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
tend to, you know,
I
but the
hear that.
one that that stays the most is Coach Jeff. He passed what 2012. Um,
Sorry to
it
hear
was
that.
he started off as my JV coach. He used to call me Skittles, you know, um, because he said you know, I always was out there and I was sweet to everybody. And so he wanted me to be a little bit on a tougher streak. Um, you know, even though he saw, you know, that it was a little hard for me to manage.
Yeah,
Toward as I got older, it got easier.
yeah.
But he taught me a lot of life lessons, you know, not only just on the court but off the court as well. And you know, so when it comes to coach wise, my mentor would be him. And then you know, life wise would be Joseph Hingston. I mean, you know, he he taught me how to
Mm-hmm,
he was the first one to teach me how to be a man. So,
mm-hmm,
you know, and how to try anything that I'm willing to that I'm open on trying. Don't be afraid to try it out, because you never know how you like it or how good you might be in it.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then a couple of a
Good
couple
on.
of other
So,
mentors would be Larry Johnson and
woo,
and Fred Williams. You know,
man,
those were
man,
you know, just growing up trying to battle them and then on top of that, you know, that giving the courage to go and battle, you know, older men, because I mean you're talking about 13-year-old kids,
yeah,
you know, playing
yeah.
against 30,
Woo.
40-year-old men that you know that
They
happen to
didn't take
be
it easy on us either.
not at all, you know. So that definitely helped, because you know when you think about as you're progressing, you know, a lot of the things that your age group is used to or not used to, you're used to because you're playing against people that's way more mature than you. You know, so uh
Yeah, I really. Sorry to cut you off. Do you want to finish?
no, you good. I was
One of the
about to call.
things I I want to let the community know here and let the people know that this circle of men right here, it is it's a really close knit group. This kind of happened naturally. Terry is basically my brother. I mean, his mentor, one of them is my father. Then the other two are also my mentors, Fred Williams, Joseph Hingston. Those men showed us how to live and showed us how to build and showed us what true love looked like without sacrificing who you are. Shout out to all three of them. I wouldn't be who I am today without them. And Tom Robles, man, just watching his journey. I know, see him through, I've seen him through, multiple situations, and just being able to, you know, be yourself through adversity has been cool to watch. I think, what has it been, like 5 years now? Something like that.
I think so. All right.
Yeah, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we won't get into the details. We'll save that for another podcast, but just watching, as you analyze, and watch people through different situations, you start gaining respect. And definitely got that for you, man.
Yeah.
Coach Doug, man, let me tell you guys, Coach Doug is, wait, how many girls do you have, Doug?
I've got 4 daughters, and then a handful of others that I treat and respect as my daughters
Yeah.
as well. They're just amazing people.
Yeah, Coach Doug is an amazing present father, and I say that not to just give him just accolades, but here are your flowers, because you're able to navigate these situations, and nobody's perfect, but I feel like I really respect how you show up, and you provide, and you do all the things, and at least from what I can see, don't complain too much. So I mean, just like the men here are not just coaches looking for a paycheck. We're coaches as a lifestyle, and that's something that athletic conceptual training is really about, and really circling the concepts. You have to be intentional about your act and your training, and sometimes that is a lifestyle. For us, it is every day a lifestyle, and I think that's what makes this group special. That's what makes this company special, and I think as we grow, I mean, it's really just going to shine, because that's something that we live. Anyway,
Absolutely. And I mean, since you're only talking about us, I'll echo the same thing about Ryan. I mean, my time that I've known Coach Ryan and gotten to spend with him, I've been impressed, and I've learned from him as well, patience and understanding, and how to go about different approaches to different people. And so, it goes full circle for sure. So thank you.
yeah, no problem. I'm honored to be here with you guys, and as we grow this business, I mean, we have so many good things. I'm going to take a break from the heaviness and talk about some of the great things that ACT is doing. Apparently, TikTok is not banned, but if you follow Instagram, Coach Ryan 925, we have more episodes coming. There's a video out there. I think are you guys all collaborated on that, right?
Yeah.
Robles Kung Fu, Coach Doug 925, the Bearded Trainer with Coach Terry. Check out the preview. We're leveling up in a way that is amazing and dynamic right now. We have we're gonna hit the ground running in 2025. The marketing's going great. I think we're poised and in great position to be able to affect our community in a way that I don't think they're even ready for or even know. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram, Coach Ryan 925, Robles Kung Fu, Coach Doug 925, the Bearded Trainer. Check us out. We're in California and in Georgia, and we're looking to partner with you all. Parents, don't forget as well, if you want to get better in your sports and just get active, come on and join ACT. It's not just for the youth. And in most cases, if you partner with your child and join the development, it's such a great way to build relationships. And what we like to do with ACT is just build lots of relationships and close ties and family. I know people use that word a lot, but we really live and want this to be a family. But anyway, yeah, speaking of TikTok, what's up with the one day ban? Why did they do that?
Yeah.
So
I
you
saw
guys, I may be on the other side of the coin from some of you here, so I'll be the dissenting view. But when we talk about athletic conceptual training, to me, athletic is getting out and doing stuff. You can conceptually learn things through TikTok or social media. There may be some information there, but that's not what I'm seeing it used for by the youth. And I'd really like to see them spend less time on that social media and more time being athletic and being out and doing things. And so, again, I'm a little conflicted, maybe some dissension in kind of the way this works, but man, I'd like to see more of these young athletes turn off the TikTok and just get out and dribble the basketball, throw the football, hit the tennis ball, bump the ball, just get out and be active. I think is the A in A.C.T is so important. We can teach a lot of concepts through social media, through online, and there are some valuable learnings there. So I'm not saying it's wasted, but by all means, let's focus on the youth, getting them out and getting them active to turn them into athletes. That's
Yeah.
something that's really important to me.
Yeah, I love that you say that. You know, I tell a lot of the kids, you know, they all wear the Kobe's. We talk about Mamba mentality, and most often I find that kids are not ready. And I will, you know, I'll say at that age I wasn't ready all the way to actually put everything aside and dedicate yourself. So, and that's one of the things, you know, trying to teach my kids is like, if you being great is available to everyone, but it isn't easy to do because you have to sacrifice, you have to grind, you have to work on your craft because the time that everybody else is spending TikToking, watching TV, hanging out, chilling because they're quote unquote tired, there's always somebody out there trying to get better to beat you. And the only way you do that is by getting out there and acting. So yeah, I agree with.
Fully. And as somebody who grew up outside and exercising, if I look at peers of mine that didn't grow up that way, that spent a more sedentary lifestyle at youth, it's so much harder for those peers of mine to be able to now develop the athletic ability and also to be in good shape for your future than when you start young and that just becomes habitual. Then as you grow up, it's something that stays with you, and there's never a better time to build it than when you're young.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, we've been touching on a couple different subjects, but I'm going to pose this question to you, Asmin, because we kind of glazed over it a little bit, but I would like to spend a little time just wondering and talking about and dropping some more gems on what made you the men that you are today. So far, we've honed in on the mentors who have really helped us. What other things have helped you? For me, example, life experiences. I've made a lot of mistakes, you know, and those mistakes, which I wish I hadn't have made them, they also taught me what I did not want, who I did not want to be. What do you guys think about life mistakes? You know, how do you get over them? How do you conquer them? How do you get the confidence to continue to move on?
Well, for
I
me,
would
it's looking at the examples that I have. So whether it's my mentor, Coach Steve, I told you about, or whether it's my father, grandfather, uncle in my life, and recognizing that when they make mistakes, how they react to it, and then knowing that I had their support no matter what I did. And as you said, I've done some really bonehead things in my life, but
Mhm.
knowing that I could always go back to them and know that they were there for me is huge. And I want to be that type of coach, mentor, father, and man for the people in my life.
Yeah. Coach Tom.
Yeah, for me, it'd be adversity. You know, going
Mm,
through so much adversity in life, and you know, having personal things happen to you, and things that that would otherwise like destroy somebody, you know, and then coming out of that just makes you a stronger individual, and also with more knowledge as well. Um, and that's something that that as I grew up doing martial arts and boxing, all that stuff, that was always adversity for me. You
mhm.
know, I'd be bleeding, crying, frustrated, you know, sweat, blood, and tears. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like to get out of that way that translated in my life, like that actually helped me get through the personal things I went through in my life. And then, you know, get knocked down 7 times and get back up 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's like it's really helped me in life. It's just always having that will of remaking yourself, you know, and it's never too late too. Like, I
Mm,
know we talk about kids, you know what I'm saying, and but even for adults, even adults like who want to like get in shape, who want to start something new, you know what I'm saying,
I love
like
that.
like
Talk.
what like where the way to go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Terry.
Um, yeah, I mean, similar. Like, for me, it's definitely been life struggles, and and really just life experiences. Rather if that's um, at a younger stage in life, in college and younger, or if that's in the military. It's the man I am today is definitely based off of my life experiences, and also just seeing what I didn't like, and how, and and also seeing things that I did like. I had a great father figure and my grandfather, which who definitely taught me tons of things to be the man I am today, from hard work to striving to be the best, to being patient and humble.
Mm,
um because some of those things that are some of the hardest, one of those things that's the hardest is things not going your way, right?
yeah.
So a lot of people see something that, doesn't go their way, and they rush into another mistake instead of sitting back, being patient, and trying to figure out how to get past that alone, as well as adapting to a new situation. The other thing I think that made me the man I am today is my mother moving me. I mean,
Mm,
we always had to um be flexible. We had to be flexible. We had to be
yeah.
you had to be able to fit in anywhere,
Mm,
because we went places like, we've gone all the way to the East Coast, to Maryland. We've gone to the South in Texas. You know, there's a couple other places off the top of my head at the moment I can't remember, but she moved us around a lot in such short few years before settling on the East Coast, but which caused us to know more than just what we were comfortable with, growing up in Oakland. Um, so I think those experiences have made me into the man that I am today, and for the better. The man I am today and the father I am today.
yeah. 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 Really, really interesting. Interesting thought process, and I just want to like highlight those things because I do think that in order to be a good coach, it's something that you have to actually live at going Coach Tom's experiences with his mentors. I think having that active presence really makes the difference. I'm just looking at the stat here, and it says 34% of young men live in a single parent home. And, I think that is something that we need to pay attention to as we're coaching, is understanding that everyone comes from a different situation, and you never know how you'll affect a kid, whether positive or negative. So making sure that we're always in the right space and paying close attention and staying grounded, it's so important. I mean, even in the households, you never know how one of the kids are absorbing you, and a lot is not what you say, but what you do. So, anyway, that's just really, really important.
And Ryan, let me just go back to one thing you said earlier real quick about how, as a coach, you kind of, parents and students and athletes kind of trust you right away. And so it's almost a bigger responsibility to where when you start out there, if you let somebody down, it's that much further that they fall.
Yeah.
So as a coach, as a potential mentor to somebody, you really got to recognize that and be ready to be accountable for everything you do and say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share a little personal struggle. Right now, just I feel like my hands are in multiple pots right now. And making sure that I tie it back in and remember to stay grounded and stay in the right mindset while trying to be forward thinking is super, super important. Because it doesn't mean anything to gain, but then losing the most important thing. So just making sure to do our own work. And another thing that I really, really would stress for a lot of men specifically, guys, take care of your mental health. Mental health issues are a real thing. I feel like we need to address them. And I mean, whether you have a mentor, whether you need to do something that takes space and time, whatever it is you need to do, it's really important that as men, we really take care of our mental health. I can't say enough about that. It's something that I have gone through and addressed, therapy and things like that. And it's made a difference in my life. And what it came down to is dealing with your childhood. So don't let the past haunt you to the point that you stop developing. Yeah. I mean,
good point.
Yeah. Lastly, just to change up things, we'll end with this question. I'll do a quick roundtable question. I'll start with you, Coach Doug. What's your favorite sport?
Oh boy, that's an interesting one. So my favorite sport to watch would be football, and my favorite sport to participate in would be volleyball.
Cool. McDonald's or Burger King?
Neither one. I don't know how to say that, but you got to stay away from that fast food. I'm not not feeling like that makes me feel good when I'm done eating it, and it's just regret when I'm done. That was expensive, and I still don't feel good. So I try and avoid them. But I guess if you're gonna make me pick one, I'll say McDonald's.
Coffee with cream or without?
Without.
Okay, cool. Guys, that's Coach Doug, Coach Doug 925 on Instagram. Check him out on athleticconceptualtraining.com. He is here for all your volleyball and tennis needs. You can catch him at Granada High School coaching the tennis team and volleyball team. Thank you for joining, Coach Doug.
Thank you. And let me just say thank you, Terry, for your service, and anybody else out there. Thank you very much for your service. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Tom, your turn.
Okay.
Blueberries or apples?
Oh, blueberries.
Okay,
I
okay.
go with the blueberries. Antioxidants.
There you
Mhm.
go. There you go. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, I don't like really soda in general, but I'd have to go with Coke. This is the original.
Okay, okay, okay. You know, nobody, not Shasta?
Shasta, nah. Gonna have to go with the Coke, the bottles that they make in Mexico. Those
Oh,
are made with real cane sugar and not high fructose corn syrup.
okay. Lime or tangerine? How do you eat those?
Oh, I have to go with tangerine.
Tangerine? Oh, what? Lime all day.
Uh, lime as a fruit, yeah, I'll take a lime, put that in, some tequila or whatever, but that's okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah. So over here at Robles Kung Fu, we're a part of the ACT, Athletic Conceptual Training, everybody out there. But where I'm also going to be doing a seminar in May 17th out there in Oakland. We're locking down a spot right now. I'm doing a seminar. I'm headlining the seminar. I'll be bringing my wealth of martial knowledge to the table. And I'll be there to discuss center line theory, broken rhythm, lots of different JKD principles. And I also have the Pan Am gold medalist of 1996. His name is Master Alex Wither. He's going to be there showcasing and teaching some of his style. Also have Guru Joe Apostle, and he's under the original Giron Eskrima organization, and he will be on hand doing knife and stick, teaching knife and stick techniques. And I also have Sifu Sky Sandoval, who's a Tai Chi master and Qigong master as well. And he's been doing it for years and years, lots of experience. So I'll be there teaching breathing applications and also fighting applications of Tai Chi, which doesn't get a lot of recognition out there. So yeah, big things in May.
Hey, guys, that's Coach Tom, Robles Kung Fu. Check him out. Seminar coming May 25th,
17th.
May 17th. Go check him out in Oakland. Follow his page for more details.
Yep.
Thank you for being here, Coach Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, Terry. Let's see here. Coffee or energy drink?
Neither one are good for you, but if I'm going to take one, it's going to be a strawberry apricot Red Bull.
Oh, okay. Getting bougie. I don't even think I've seen that flavor.
Yes, sir. It's the orange can.
Oh, all right. What's your favorite sport?
Oh man, favorite sport is basketball for sure. Even though I always thought if I would have stuck to football, I would have been really good at.
That's crazy. You know what? I feel the same way.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. It's just the height and everything. I just feel like and I feel like my demeanor fit football a lot.
Yeah.
But I ended up, the love for basketball was too strong.
Yeah. Favorite military food?
Favorite military food.
Like
Man,
when you was in the military, what was that one little meal you're like, all right, I'm looking forward to this?
chili mac, man.
Well, chili mac. Explain the recipe for that? Like mac and cheese and chili?
So it was pretty much it was pretty much chili with macaroni noodles. Yeah, like it just reminded me of like Hamburger Helper, growing up
Oh, I
eating
see.
Hamburger Helper. So it was probably one of the best things you could eat, especially if it was in like an MRE or something like that, because
Mhm.
MREs sometimes you don't get the best ones, but
Yeah.
it was just, I mean, it was definitely one of my favorites, should I say? When I think when I was at Fort Benning, I believe it's Fort Liberty now. Um, I think one of my favorites was probably when they used to have, it used to just be like the fried chicken.
Mhm.
That particular unit had some good chicken cookers.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That's dope. That's dope. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Um, nah, nothing much at the moment. We're definitely gonna start pushing out a lot more content. Showing some of the training. Right now we're kind of getting over the this weather spell. I think it's
Yeah.
supposed to be 16 in like a couple of days. So,
Mm,
so we're trying to get past that so we can go out and do more training.
there you go. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining. Also, Coach Terry. Um, really, really valuable information. Everybody out there in Georgia, go see him. Go see him. Also, he is a dog protection trainer. Um, he's been doing that for years. If you have a dog that needs um, some help, in the training aspect, go see him. Um, yeah, man, this is great. Athletic Conceptual Training couldn't be in a better position with the three of you.
Coach Ryan,
Yeah.
morning person or night person?
Oh man, I'm both right now. I mean, okay, I like nights, but it's it's rough because the daytime when you have a daytime schedule, it's like you're on the time with everyone else. So, and that's sometimes nice. But
Gotcha.
for productivity sake, I would like nights because when people go to sleep, then that's when I can get most things done.
How
Yeah,
about
especially that's how I
beach
am with
vac
like shopping.
how about
Yeah.
a beach vacation or mountain vacation?
Ooh, probably beach vacation, warm
Uh,
sand, fishing. Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And one more. Running or biking?
Oh, I mean, at one point I would have said biking, but I can't do on hard seats now. So probably I'll run and get it over with.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for that. I just wanted to throw a couple at you and learn some more about you there.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. All right, that's it for today. Again, great intro podcast. We got to know our coaches. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us individually. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram. And we look forward to serving you all here from Statesboro, Georgia to Livermore, California. Thank you guys all for your time, and we'll catch you next time.
All right.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right.